I'm Sean Stewart, the creator and editor of Blurred Society. Let's get into the video.
Have you seen Ana Kasparian's tweet? I'm curious. Your opinion, what your opinion is. It seems complicated. Yeah, I did. I did see Ana Kasparian's tweet. I talked about it yesterday. Ana is not wrong, but it's inherently a right-wing talking point because it's not a real issue. Like, for example, when someone says a trans woman can have an advantage, a physical advantage in athletic competition, this statement in and of itself is not incorrect. A trans woman absolutely can have a biological advantage over a cis woman. Yes, of course. But if you make that the heart of your argument and talk about how unfair it is and how it's ridiculous, then all of a sudden you're just doing the bidding of the right for no reason because this is a culture war issue. Like I said, you're not completely incorrect with your sentiment. I have said something similar to that where I think that like outside of like hyper-specific scenarios, the notion that like people should be reduced to their reproductive capabilities or whatever organs they have is silly, right? But also, no one does that. It's not a real thing. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like a hyper-specific and overly dramatized, idiotic talking point that right-wingers constantly harp on. Do you understand? Ana came out of the gate swinging. When we first looked at this, it had like 2,000 likes, but of course it's blown the fuck up since then with 102,000 likes. And it says, I'm a woman. Please don't ever refer to me as a person with a uterus, birthing person, or a person who menstruates. How do people not realize how degrading this is? You can support the transgender community without doing this shit. Now, do I think Ana is transphobic? No. Do I think Ana doesn't fight for trans rights? Of course she fights for trans rights. So does Cenk. The Young Turks have been a long supporter of all marginalized groups, including trans people. I mean, are they... Someone said, what about homeless? Okay, well, I won't go that far. I think that they have gone a bit astray in their advocacy for, criminalizing the homeless and things of that nature. Yes, that part I do agree with you on. But as far as I've seen it, no, not with like trans issues. I think they're pretty decent on trans issues. Does that make sense? The homelessness one, no, they are they're a bit reactionary, I will say. If I with their advocacy for the carceral state, it's not great. Anyway, but does that make sense when I say like in a vacuum, this sentiment itself is not like incorrect, nor is it a conversation given if the right words were utilized, anyone would consider objectionable, right? Even inside of like trans circles, I would say. But when you say it this way, as though it's a real problem, it's immediately weaponized by right-wingers because it's not a real issue. But the right love turning not real issues into supposedly very real issues by manufacturing outrage around them. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It's far less degrading than all the misogynistic assholes that call asshole men that call women females. At least one term recognizes their personhood and humanity. She's mad over a medical term. So fucking stupid. It's kind of transphobic, to be honest, even if she doesn't recognize it. And your uncle has been vehemently defending her that only caters to the worst people. Yeah, of course Cenk is defending her. I don't even think Cenk disagrees with her. Because I don't think this sentiment expressed is... The attitude is wrong. Like I said, in a vacuum, it's not like an unreasonable thing to state. It's just that it's not an issue. So why would you ever bring it up? Why would you ever talk about it? You get what I'm saying? I'm being very careful and trying to use as precise wording as possible. Like even Juniper's criticism here, which is what I love. Like I like this. I brought it up yesterday. Also understands it, right? So funny for someone to witness the trans moral panic, the calls for our eradication in public, the banning of trans medical care in multiple states, yet decide to make everything about how the 14 libbed up academics who use these silly phrases bother you so much. Notice how she also said these are silly phrases only utilized by 14 libbed up academics. Because that's true. It's one of those like Latinx style movements, right? Outside of like a conversation that directly pertains to someone trying to check me and be like, you have to use Latinx or whatever the fuck, you're not going to see me make that my political statement, my outward political statement that like, no, I will never say Latinx. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, it's stupid. It's a stupid thing to consistently talk about. Now, of course, Ben Shapiro retweeted it. Carrie Lake responded to it. It was bad. It was so bad. I've never heard anyone refer to themselves or someone else with those terms that happen. And what is the reason? It does not happen. No, it's not a thing. Okay? Like, it's like right-wingers talking about like every now and then. I talked about this yesterday as well, but I'm repeating myself. It's like when the Daily Mail, the Daily Turf Mail, writes an article about like the one trans couple that had a child. You know what I mean? A trans man and a trans woman and a fucking child. Look at how fucking crazy this is, right? Like they write an article about it and then everyone on the right-wing circuits go, that's crazy. And it's like, dude, you quite literally have to get off the juice to be able to perform these functions. Like, it's not, that doesn't take away your transness, obviously, or that doesn't make you any less male or female. But the point is it's like literally such a insanely marginal, unique circumstance that is not even in any way, shape, or form tangentially related to trans existence and allowing trans people to fucking live freely in society, right? That like making a big deal about it is insane. And is literally implicating here that men can't ever menstruate here too. I guess she's saying that only women can have a uterus or only women can give birth. I don't think she believes that. I think that is our assessment. I mean, I don't know. But I don't think she's saying that at all. I think she's saying that it's like almost dehumanizing to refer to someone by their reproductive organs or anything other than that, like just their reproductive organs or their capabilities. That's it. That's all she's trying to say, but she's saying it in a very spicy way, and she's going to get a lot of clout from the worst possible people. Does that make sense? Not to say that like these terms don't have use. They do, but those usage, the usage for these terms are hyper-specific medical scenarios where like an incredibly marginal, like incredibly tiny fraction of society will make use of it, right? And it's affirming, and that's good. But no one in the real world is like, you're calling yourself a woman? Shut the fuck up. That's so bigoted. You're a birthing person. Like, that's not a thing. And you want to know how it's not a thing? Because the right obsessively try to make it a thing. That's why Ben Shapiro tweets every Mother's Day, Happy Birthing Person Day. Because the one thing right-wingers love doing is painting a cartoonish depiction of reality by hysterical radlibs, right? And then when they can't actually find this cartoonish reality happening in the real world, they'll just become the example themselves. They'll just do it anyway. It's the guy who is like very clearly not trans going and competing in female weightlifting competitions, right? And then being like, look how easily I won this. I'm trans, lol. I'm no longer trans, lol. It's like, that's literally what they claim people are going to do. That's why they're terrified of trans women competing in competition. But because that never fucking happens, they have to make it seem like they're doing it. It's like trans people are disingenuously trying to claim that they're trans to win athletic endeavors is not a real thing. No one has ever done that. Okay, but like isn't Anna doing the same thing? She's also making it seem like using the term birthing person or whatever is normal when it definitely is not. Yes, that's why I'm saying she's wrong. In a vacuum, having a conversation about this would not be incorrect. Having an opinion on this would not be incorrect. The sentiment that she's expressing is what makes it incorrect because it's not a real thing that is happening in the real world. Does that make sense? I have never encountered a Latinx or I've never encountered a birthing person. It's even less likely. Like, at least, you know, Amy Goodman says Latinx, you know what I mean? And she's my goat. She's my queen. So I appreciate it, and I get it. You know, go off, queen. I love you. You can do no wrong, right? But I don't think I've ever heard fucking Amy Goodman even say birthing person.